good afternoon to you, whatever time of the day it is, Vinyl Comrades. Now, I wanted to do a video in response to John Bellamy, and he was talking, I think, about people in the VC that were in different parts of the world where there's obviously different sorts of music, and well, I think he was sort of, I suppose, most of us are from North America, Europe, Australia. Well, I can think of one person in Israel. Yeah, there aren't that many, you would say, from Asia or from China, I suppose, or South America, or maybe even Africa. So in response, I wanted to do a video with my collection of records that are from, well, the Eastern Bloc, I guess you would say, Eastern Soviet former republics, blocks of, I think mainly Soviet Union, Poland, which is now Poland, and a couple of others, Hungary, and I think some of the other Baltic states I have. So although I do not know anything about these records apart from what I've looked up on the internet, I just thought it would be interesting to do, really. So without further ado, and me rambling on, yeah, I mean, I've looked things up a little bit on the internet to find out something about these sort of bands and people, but it's quite limited, you know. There's not many people that I can only think of one person who, when I was living in Finland, knew a lot about the Melodiya, the Soviet Union label, because to me, and probably most of you, you can't understand the writing unless there's a translation into English or another language you might understand. So yeah, so let's go for it. Right, okay, so the first band I found, and I think he actually pointed me on to, was this album by a Polish band called Breakout. Now this band, this is amazing. I have two albums by them. I don't know what the label is. Oh, Polski Nagrania, I think that says. So this is a 70s band, a little bit akin, I suppose you could say, looking or sounding to Led Zeppelin. It's sort of like heavyish rock, blues. This is probably more jazz influenced, I think. Here is the label, Musa. Okay, and this is from, I'm sorry to say I don't know what year it's from, but I have two albums by them. One of them has an extra person on it that I think, if I just open this up out, this one has 5 people in the band with a woman in it, and I think the woman is a singer. Yeah, the woman is a singer. This album has a saxophonist on it, which makes it a lot more jazzy, which I like. And well, I like both of the albums. I wouldn't say one's more straightforward than the other, but if you ever see albums by this band, I would get them. The other album is here. 2, 4, 5. Oh no, there's 5 people. Sorry, there's 5 people in this one as well, but the woman has gone, or she hasn't arrived yet. It's on the same label. It has 9 tracks on each side, this album, which is quite impressive. But yeah, it's just really good. So moving on, this is on the Melodiya Russian label. Now, if you look at that, I think I might have shown this before, but it's uncannily like Dave Grohl, which it isn't. It's a band called the Magnetic Band, I'm not sure where it is from. Debut by them came out in 1977. Right, they're from Tallinn, which is Estonia. This album's a bit folky, actually. It's a little bit Jethro Tull, I would say. It's good. Yeah, you can see some of the translations there into, I guess, Estonian. Okay, next one on Melodiya again. This one, the guy on the back looks a bit like Mike Oldfield or somebody. This is a guy called Didier Marouani, which doesn't sound very Russian, but it's a space opera, so that gives you some idea of the sort of music it is. It's leaning onto Jean-Michel Jarre, I think. This is later. CD there on the cover there in the middle. It's 1987. It's all in Russian. There's a space sort of Mars type landscape there on it. It's good. This is an Estonian guy, Volta Ojakar, and it's called Vastu Kerkivale Kuule, and he looks like this. He doesn't look very Estonian, so I don't know anything about this. Again, it's just very difficult to categorise, really. A bit of jazz, bit of what I would say sort of more trendy, easy listening. It looks as if, well, songs are called things like Share Your Fire, Towards the Rising Moon, Serenade for Trumpet, Summit of the Yellow Butterfly, Ditty, New Boat. So it's sort of a bit jazzy, I suppose you could say as well. Nice cover. Just show you the that's the Melodiya label there. If you can see that. Yeah, it's good. And of course, if you find these records somewhere, I will grab them. You know, this is more straightforward sort of rock. There he is with his flying V. I've no idea what this is because it's all in Russian. It's from 1986, which I guess you could guess from the cover. There's some Russian singing on it as well. So now I can't remember who this guy is, but I think he's some sort of like slightly reactionary, maybe poet or songwriter. It's a bit folky. It's in English, right? He's called Bulat Okudzava, I think that says, and he is from, I think he's sort of somewhere like Ukraine or somewhere. He's from sort of down that way, that neck of the woods. Yeah, and it's good, but I don't know what he's singing about. Yeah, there's some references to classical music, but it's definitely like sort of, you know, I guess you could tell from that cover that, you know, it's going to be interesting. Another guy here from, this is Veljo Tornamis. I think he is Estonian. This is sort of classical and some choral things that he does. There's the guy's picture there on the back. Yeah, it's okay. It's a little bit not totally different, but certainly Estonia has a big history of communal singing together. Yeah, este. That's the word for Estonia in Estonian. Yeah. Well, it's a nice cover, sort of modern. Here's a folk woman singing. I do not know anything about that, but it looked a bit hippie, so it's okay, quite pleasant. Nothing in English at all there. I'm guessing it's sort of 70s. Polish record on a label called, the same label, Muza again. This is children's sort of songs and music. So probably lots of samples on here. Interesting sort of stuff. Lots of characters, I think, of something here. I'm not sure, but that's an interesting one. Now this one is a band called Zodiac, Russian band called Zodiac. They are Russian actually from Russia. Now this band, there was a dance hit from early 1990s by a band called PPK, and I can't remember what it was called, but it was a hit in the UK. And apparently on another of the Zodiac albums, it was a sample that this PPK took. Whether they were Russian as well, I can't remember either. But this is, yeah, I guess similar to sort of space rock type music. Yeah, The Mysterious Galaxy, Laser Illumination, The Other Side of Heaven. This album's called Music in the Universe. It's a program dedicated to the 25th anniversary of the Soviet astronautics. So that is another interesting album I found. This one, music by Gleb May, a literary musical composition, confession. Evgeny Yevtushchenko. I'm sorry, I just can't pronounce these words at all. Unfortunately, I could pronounce them, but I'd probably sound like I was being a bit derogatory. Just sound like an impersonation, I suppose. I don't know. So this is sort of, I don't know, just like a bit left field, really. As far as the music is concerned, I am no judge of that, as I am not an expert. All I can say is that, in my opinion, the music of this composition is not only functional, but also quite independent at times, when it bursts into a free melodic flight, combining poetry and rock music, a literary composition with a vocal instrumental group, and USSR Bolshoi Theatre String Ensemble, 1980 or 1983, I'm not sure. One or the other or both. This guy I think was from Lithuania. His name is Raimond Pauls. This is a sort of a group of people doing a slightly alternative early 1980s music. It's a punk band that was actually quite good. Don't know what it is. Oh, Black Coffee Group. There we go. The guy here looks a little bit like Bono with too much makeup here. Here's a folk opera. Boris Bazurov. Folk rock group. There they are in folk rock attire. No, there's nothing else in English on here, I don't think. Yeah, and all these on the or most of these on the Melodiya label. You know, if there was a book about Melodiya, that would be really interesting, and the history of it, and yeah, I suppose I have a vague interest in what it would have been like there then, or you know, so I certainly did have, you know, in a little small East German obsession, I suppose, because once I went to Berlin, and then I knew somebody that grew up in East Germany, and we went to where the Stasi kept all their records, and it was a very grim sort of looking place. Lombard, I think this is Polish. I bought this. The guy that sold it has written what he thinks is worth taking from it. It's a naked cover there with some hair and a sticker. This is another Polish band, slightly proggy. 9 minutes, over 5 minutes, 2 tracks, and then on the B-side 1 track which is 19 minutes 20 seconds. There's a picture of them, Exodus. On the Musa label again. Just a couple more to go now. Don't know what this one is. Again, nothing in English. It's from 1987. 6 people in the band. 4 tracks on each side. Don't remember that I've played that one. And the last one is a Hungarian band called Omega. It's proggy. I suppose you could say it's in the ilk of I suppose a Focus sort of sound, 70s, early 80s sound. This band have done a lot of albums. I don't think this sleeve is the original. I can show you the label. Made in Hungary, 1982. It says XI, so this could be that 11th album, Omega. And that sort of concludes this video, really. I hope just showing these records has been interesting to you. Hello to John, Bellamy. That was sort of there's a piece of paper in here with this symbol on it. Oh, put it upside down. 5 people in the band. So yeah, thanks John for just sort of suggesting something. I'm from England and don't really know much about this sort of stuff, but I'm sure other people have and will make far more interesting videos and be far more knowledgeable than I am about it. With regard to other parts of the world, there are sort of, you know, people that are very into Brazilian music or African music or other parts of the world. So I look forward to seeing some videos, because I don't know anything about that sort of stuff at all, really. Apart from I know that, you know, it's quite collectible. And some DJs use stuff from these various places. So hi to all my vinyl comrades, as I sort of entitled this video, and look forward to seeing some more videos soon. Okay, thanks very much, and I can't think of the word in Russian, but anyway, I will see you all soon. Thanks, bye.